Kams audio son. You burn this wine when I want you shine. The tree of life, them I want you climb. Cause them heart no kind. Kams I say them heart no kind. Buxton Massive. Kidaki. Read that.
Well, I invoke the WPA's position that we are engaging in civil disobedience and non-cooperation with the government. And on that grounds, I refuse to participate in the interview. The question in struggle, is not personal. Whatever sacrifice as a political activist or a political leader you have to make for your people, you have to make it.
Guyana and Guyanese, at home and abroad. Tune in to Guyanese Morning Time, hosted by Kadaki Amsterdam, where the sun always shines. Guyanese Morning Time, the people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. We rise up early morning watching Kams Tv, where wisdom and knowledge, yes, it is the key. Exposing corruptions over land and sea, where the wicked politicians, they try to trick me. Guyana is a land for everybody. With 6 races should live in harmony. Is one set of people getting oil money. Is one set of people doing the thievery. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. This is a program that you all can see, sharing your views and your integrity. Like it, comment and share it all around. Pass it to your neighbor, safe and sound. A sad situation going on in this town. The voice of the people is getting trampled down. Out of the mouths of babes and sucklings, which has ordained me to sing. I sing Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, fooling the people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. Stop fooling people. You're promoting evil. Stop lying to the people. You are a part of the cycle. I say Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again. They got Rickford, Bork and Mark Benchcop, David Hines and Kadaki Amsterdam, Sherrod Duncan, Nigel London, Normal Brown and Gavin Matthews. Big up Paslow, Poor People Governor, Simona Brooms, Robin Simpson, Hampton Green and Winston Jordan. And yes, we can go right on and on. Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again, Guyanese Morning Time. The people calling Guyanese Morning Time. Rhythm, Guyanese Morning Time. Intelligence and knowledge run the front line. We go again.
The relatives and friends of young Wyndham Bacchus, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives and friends of our in Boston, they deserve justice. The family, the relatives, and friends of Peter Headley, they deserve justice.
And so when we say that Guyana is an apartheid state, we have the evidence to show.
I love the sense of humor, you know. I love the sense of humor. Listen, this girl Yanet is something else, you know. Yanet Elias, who you be? Yanet, anytime you see me, stop me, man. And ensure you get my bunks. And say, hey, Mr. Amsterdam is me. Who needs enemies when they got friends like Yanet? Yanet warning. Yanet said them Dalai Lama in the install is messing with the life. Y'all know the story of the Dalai Lama? Y'all stop datifying people. A man is just a man. I'll keep that in mind. A man is just a man. We all have our weaknesses. Some of us can control them, others can't. Or others choose not to. Right? You know, reading the story of the Dalai Lama, it's just sickening. It just churns the stomach. It is so sickening to recognize, you know, all of these people society holds in high esteem. Right? Society holds them in high esteem and praise them, and you know, Mahatma Gandhi is revered among some people as this and that and the other thing, and there is so much evidence out there. There's so much evidence out there that supports the position that he has been racist and that he has undermined the struggle of black South Africans. All kinds of things. Mahatma Gandhi. Right? There's so many allegations that go around this world about people that they hold in high esteem. All of the priests and so on of the Roman Catholic churches around the world and who've been accused of sexually abusing boys and stuff like that. Makes you think that the people in this world are sick, especially those who are leaders. Because for the most part, people look up to their leadership. They place tremendous trust in their leadership. They will put their head on a block for leaders. And what some leaders do, they be simply the best. Y'all remember the one too? They chose to be simply the best. So here it is in 2023, we're hearing of the Dalai Lama kissing a little boy on his lips. And if that were to be overlooked, he had the temerity to tell a little boy, suck on my tongue. What sickness is that? What sickness is that? I am sure in the eyes and in the books of a lot of people, the Dalai Lama represents peace and love and tranquility and humanity and everything else, right? But here is this old pervert. Old pervert. We are not going to see the Dalai Lama dragged before the courts, you know. All he did was issue an apology. An apology is good enough in the eyes of some people when some people misbehave. Right? An apology is good enough in the eyes of some people when their friends and cronies misbehave. But for others, they must be shackled and they must be placed in solitary confinement And you must lock them up and throw away the key. And stuff like that. The Dalai Lama is just about one example of the sickness around this world. Listen out and see if you will hear the churches condemn it. Listen out and hear if you will hear the big politicians, the US politicians and Brits and Canadians and so on, condemn it and call for the Dalai Lama to have a day in court. Child sexual abuse or something to the extent. Right? Let's see about that. In Ghana, let me tell you, sometimes this thing really saps my energy, honestly. I'm only human, so sometimes I just have to relate with you from a humanistic point of view. Right? You know what hurt me this morning? You ever... Yeah, I'm coming to the Kirambu story. You know what hurt me this morning? All the time this live is running, this broadcast is running smoothly. And as soon as the rebroadcast is finished and Mr. Amsterdam decided to sit on the chair to start the day's live, it is as if somebody is there looking at me. And as soon as I shape up, they disconnect the live. They don't want Kidaki Amsterdam speaking to 500, 600, 700, 1,000 plus persons when the day comes. Why? But it really hurt me, I'm telling you seriously. You know, sometimes some people, I mean, I expect that, listen, they are always consistently trying to disrupt the program and so on. But God, disrupt it before I sit down, the man. It's like a slap in your face. That thing hurtful. I'm hurt this morning. I am seriously hurt. You know? Man, listen, Kelly Ford, good morning. As long as I see you, girl. Why is this happening? I'm searching all the time. This is a 24/7 job for me right now, trying to find a solution. I'm not going to give up. But just imagine how frustrating it can be. Right? But I'm getting places. I'm learning. Every day I'm learning something else. I'm closer to the point of believing whatever it is affecting the programming is on this computer. I'm getting closer to that point. I've done all kind of scans on this computer. I'm not finding any malware. They say that is how Pegasus operates. Pegasus will be on your devices and you don't even know Pegasus is on your devices, and you could scan as deep as you want and you can't find Pegasus. The thing is really intrusive. Right? I am at the point where I seriously believe I just need to put this computer in a corner and start all over again. Right? But hey, you know where I get my reassurances from? Three-legged fruit, little wine up peltam, you know. Three-legged fruit, little wine up peltam, you know. Have I been as ineffective as the PPP and the trolls claim every morning? Let me put 2 and 2 together. Let me play stupid. Yesterday I said I ain't too bright, and Janet was angry with me for that. But, you know, like I explained, I love sarcasm. I love sarcasm. Right? So it gonna just slip out sometimes. Because it's you know, I just love sarcasm. That is why I love old calypsos and I love old music and so on. Because when you listen, you hear so much pun and so on in the songs and so on. what they call them, the double entendre or whatever they call. I love that kind of use of language. So sometimes when you hear I talk, well, you know, y'all just forgive me. Good? But I reassure myself, or I get reassurance of the fact that I must be doing something to make these people every day dedicate resources to disrupting this program and trying to keep me off air. Nobody will expend resources where they're not getting returns. Unless you're damn fool, unless you're Ali. You buy wedding ring. You buy wedding ring that people are wearing. Right? They just toss it in a corner for somebody else pick up and sell, according to them. Right? Nobody invests where they're not seeing returns. I mean, some people will tell you that you don't get return from a certain kind of bank. Good? But that's not the discussion this morning. The fact is, the PPP, the government, the ruling party, whatever you want to call them, they've dedicated time and energy and resources, man hours to me. And I'm glad. I'm a celebrity. Y'all must come and get me autograph. I know Miranda Brown has been assigned to me. But let's talk about what's happening in this country. My entire the whole aim of this morning discussion was to talk about local government and what is happening in the preparation in the run-up to local government elections. We'll have to talk about that. But one of the things which I was just informed of, somebody actually sent a link to me, so I'll share that link with you also. But I was just in conversation, right? I was just in conversation with one of our leading pressmen. And I was told that they shot up the home of Kieran Bruce last night. Somewhere around 1 o'clock 1 o'clock is this morning actually. 40 morning, early morning. They shot up the home of Kieran Bruce. And Kieran has a little post up here, which I will share with you. You have a right to know. And then we're going to talk about some things. Right? Talk about some things. Here is the yeah, so you see that. And the post is somebody thinks I deserve the Kieran Bruce post. I think it said
Let me take my daughter home right now, or I will slap a lawsuit on you.
Your manners, we invite you. According to the post, the title is somebody think I deserve to be my home is think I deserve for my home to be shot up or something to that extent. Right? We have to be alert. We have to be aware. We have to know what's happening in this society. Let us not run from the fact that someone thought I deserve to have my house shut up. My family and I are okay. Right? My family and I are okay. Someone thought I deserved to have my home shot up. Something to that extent. Y'all know who's Kirambus? Why would they want to shoot up the home of Kirambus? Y'all know when a lot of drive-by shooting takes place in this society? Kieran Bruce is the man, the young man, the individual that the Guyana police had arrested some time ago, alleging that he was Mudwater. I remember that. They had arrested Kieran Bruce, claiming that he was Mudwater. And if I remember clearly, that arrest stemmed from a complaint made by a close friend, an operative of the media operative, and a close friend of Clifton Higgins. Y'all remember that? Y'all could call him, I go whistle. Right? A media operative, something shit, they call it, had made a complaint, police complaint against Mudwater. I don't know if the individual alleged that Mudwater was Kieran Bruce or is Kieran Bruce. But I know for a fact that Bruce was arrested Bruce was arrested, and the police were investigating, and I think they put him on charge, and then for a long time, up until now, nothing has been heard of that story. Nothing new has been heard about that story. But here it is. With the PPP comfortably in office, Higgins apparently has been granted his extension, I understand, up to July, to sit in the seat of commissioner, acting, or acting commissioner, whatever it is. Dataram is in the custody of the US, singing like a canary, I understand. And the boys with the big guns are out to play. Right? The boys with the big guns are out to play. And Bruce's home has been shut up. His car, from the look of it, got a couple of shots. Well, I'm looking at the car. I don't know if anybody observed that or if I'm imagining things. Is that vehicle bulletproof or semi-bulletproof? I'm not sure, but I see the glass shattered but not shattered, or something to that extent. It didn't crumble. By the door lock, I see an indentation there. Did that come from a bullet and it didn't penetrate? But it looks to me, I don't know, I'm not an expert on these things. I just look at things and believe I know what I'm talking about. Looks as though the vehicle is semi-bulletproof or bulletproof. But one of the things to note here, I don't know who did it. Let me start by saying I don't know who did it. Right, let me start by saying I don't know who did it. I would like to know. I would like them to catch the culprit so we can know who the intellectual authors are. Those are things the Guyana police don't interest itself in this country. You know, who are the intellectual authors? Why was Bruce's vehicles? Why was Bruce's home selected to be shut up? Because he is allegedly this anti-everybody critic, because as far as I know, he criticizes everybody. or because there is no justice to be had from the court for these complaints which have been made against him to the police, because they can't find any evidence to prove that this is the culprit. And so let us go to jungle justice. Is that what is happening in this country? What you have to understand in this country is that once the PPP is in office, you're going to get a lot of jungle justice. A lot of headhunters come out from their cracks and their grooves. And I'm reminding you that under past PPP government, they engaged a lot of headhunters. And I'm telling you that under this current administration, they are engaging a lot of headhunters. In case you didn't remember, let me remind you that I told you not so long ago that the nasty, dirty, stinking work that Gadrad used to do out of Ministry of Home Affairs is now being done out of Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. And so don't ask why the character athletes are not treated properly, because nobody has time with that. They got time to manage the nasty, stinking, dirty business that Gadrad used to manage. It's now being managed out of that ministry. You understand what I'm saying? Understand that once you have a criminal cabal in government, a cartel, quite frankly, in government, acts like these will continue. The citizens in general will not be protected and safe. But in particular, critics of the government and friends of the government will certainly not be safe nor protected unless they create their own safe zones and protection. I'm going to tell y'all something here just now. Y'all going to be surprised. As long as the PPP is in government, this criminal cabal, a lot of people will be fearful, including media workers, including policemen and women, including law enforcement in general, including members of the judiciary. People will live in fear. They will be afraid of speaking truth to power. They will be afraid of standing up in defense of their country. Because what they say, self-preservation is nature's first rule. It's best to live under bad conditions than die fighting for good conditions. A lot of people are of that opinion. And so you don't be surprised when the society is as comatose as it is. Because if you dare stand up, the gunmen and women gonna come at you. Don't think it's men alone that do these things. And so Kieran Bruce is just about one example. I got a little whisper for y'all. The PPP continues with its lawlessness. When Beast and Moore under the previous PPP government was caught with a whole armory in his home, I don't know how many of you remember that story. An entire armory they found Beast with AK-47 and all kinds of things in and more. He was arrested and taken to the Vigilance Police Station. Okay? He was taken to the Vigilance Police Station. What resulted? The police failed to charge him because of political instructions from the PPP. Beast, a PPP hitman. UC Guyana, brother, UC Guyana filed private criminal charges against Beast. They used the police to pull out the records from the occurrence book at Vigilance Police Station. The records were pulled out. The pages were pulled out. And so that case fell through, I think, eventually. Understand that. The PPP protects its hitmen in this society. And they use them to intimidate and threaten the lives of people who dare to criticize them. There's been a whisper around about some people from the Middle East, I can't remember their nationality, slipping into the country recently. Have you heard that whisper? And people are saying that is one of the reasons why the US issued the security bulletin, because these people slipped into the country. I understand perhaps from Trinidad. Are these the people who were used to shoot up Bruce's home? I don't know. I'm just thinking. Are these the people? Are they mercenaries? We know the PPP doesn't invest in them. Here's what I want to tell you that I've held close to my chest. They are out there and they're gunning for us. And they're using people who look like you and I to either do the scouting or the gunning. Every day I look outside and I see a business parked out there. Some people will know what I'm talking about. I used to manage a mobile restaurant on the roadside. But once I started getting under the skin of the PPP, the threats and the movements started to be registered. I would have mentioned it previously, people tracking my movements and so on. And for that reason, I had to remove myself from the roadside. For that reason, I no longer operate a roadside business. But you think that is all? They are even more desperate now. They're coming to where I live, or where I operate, or one of the places that they know they can find me, or think they will always find me. Why am I saying this? Because Kieran Bruce is just another critic. Well, sorry, let me don't even say Kieran Bruce is just another critic. It is alleged Kieran Bruce is just another critic under the pseudonym Mudwater. That's the allegation. I don't know this individual. I don't know his background. I don't know much about him. So I don't know if he has been involved in anything on the ground or on the arm. But when you hear that a person accused of being a usual critic in the society, his home has been shot up, you need to take stock. Because according to the poet, when they came for the Jews, I didn't bother myself because I'm not a Jew. They came for Christians and Catholics, and I didn't because I'm not of those. But eventually they came for me. Right? And so I'm saying that Bruce is not the first under the PPP government to have his home shut up and threats made and life threatened and all of that. He's not likely to be the last. And society, the citizens of this country, can very well determine how long that will be allowed to happen in this society. Don't let us forget Waddle. Don't let us forget Crummy Wing. Don't let us forget McKinnon. Don't let us forget all of those people who were murdered under the PPP because they dared to stand up against the PPP and point out the wickedness to the world. But for as much as they have died, and we can remember them, the question is that enough to just remember them? They have paid the ultimate price fighting for us in this society to enjoy certain freedoms. But here it is. 20, 30 years after, people are still faced with the kind of tyrannical leadership that the PPP offers. It means the society, the citizens have failed, the citizens are failing, the citizens are not standing up to defend their democracy and stop tyranny. That should make people like me very afraid, very scared, very afraid. We should just go in our corner like everybody else and stay quiet. But how does that help society? But does it even help society for us to lay our lives on the line to be remembered as another martyr like Waddle and Crummy Wing and so on? McKinnon? Y'all don't know who's McKinnon. Y'all could remember Donna McKinnon. She was shot just outside the empty land by PPP, Freedom House headquarters there on Robb Street. The gunman was in Freedom House and fired from the back section of the building, either window or door. At least that is what has been recorded. So let's not forget the blood of Donna McKinnon. You know Crummy Wing, it's recent. You know Ronald Waddle, it's recent. You know of so many others who the PPP mowed down because they dared to criticize them. Tyson Hines are making allegations, and what are those allegations, Tyson Hines? Last week, or was it 2 Thursdays ago, when I first did the program and said that Irfan must be impeached because the courts, Justice Gino Prasad has ruled that Irfan breached the Constitution when he suspended Paulson and the others from the Police Service Commission. When I did that program, about 20 past 12 that day, 2 young black men turned up at my gate. But I keep telling y'all, I'm not afraid, but I'm not stupid. I'm not afraid, but I'm not stupid. I just always look for trouble, so I just know when trouble coming. Thank the creators and the ancestors for their guidance. Those who know my place is situated will know. They came across the big bridge. I stepped out onto my patio and I recognized these people don't look regular. One short and squatty gave me a name and a number. The other one slender. In hot, broiling sun, as we like to say in Guyana. The slender one is, what y'all let's call it? Level, it's not level up. Got on several, layered up, several layers of clothing. Several layers of clothing. In the hot, broiling sun. They didn't stand together. One stood behind the other, not directly behind, but behind the other. It's some amount of space in between them. And I engaged them from my patio. You know what I said I want? Well, that's the guys as far as I'm concerned. I want to join the WP. I'm paraphrasing the conversation. I come to Mr. Kiraki to join the WP. I just watched his program and I read some book, and so I interested in joining the WP. Them girls like to say, red flag. You are speaking to Mr. Kidaki, but you don't recognize Mr. Kidaki. You are speaking to Mr. Kidaki, but you don't recognize Mr. Kidaki. Red flag. As they say, you think and you act quickly. And that is what I did. A name and number was provided to me. A name and number was provided to me by one of the individuals. The man claimed he lives in Sophia. Investigations turn out that the number that he gave me is not registered to a male person to start with. You hear me? Not registered to male. And not registered in Sophia. Y'all hear what I say? The number that I was given was not connected to that name which was given to me. It was not registered in that geographic area which was given to me. As a matter of fact, it was registered to a woman in a community miles, maybe 20, 30 miles away. They are out there. They are out there. I took my time and I made them a study. After they left, I'm telling y'all, so y'all gonna know. After they left, I'm sure they must have seen cameras at the front of the building. I had enough time to sit down and study their approach and everything. And so I didn't come to a wild conclusion that they were here to do wickedness. Because I have them every step of the way with what they were doing. And so I'm sharing that with you now. And so since Miranda Brown and the others are listening, just alert your handlers that I'm not afraid, but I'm not stupid. And don't send back people at my place because they can't get for doing nothing. And why did I choose to talk about that now? Because the evidence is out there that the PPP and the PPP friends are on a rampage in this society to intimidate and murder people who dare to criticize them. You understand what I'm saying? Last night or early this morning was Kieran Bruce. For whatever reason, I don't know. tomorrow it could be any other critic of the government or their friends. Last week yeah. I mean, a lot of y'all take this thing for granted, what we do as social media influencers, as y'all call us. Y'all remember last week, every time I came on, the program got disconnected. What was I talking about? Local government election. And the fact that a particular well-known individual was contesting the elections in Peters Hall area. Y'all remember that? Huh? Everybody started holding their head and bawling. Kidaki Amsterdam is what wrong with you, boy. Kidaki Amsterdam, why you gonna mention the man's name? Kidaki Amsterdam, you ain't frightened? Are we going to continue to live in fear and allow a small group of people a small group of people to lock us up in prisons, to keep us imprisoned mentally because they have what it takes to intimidate us? And they got resources to hire mercenaries. Huh? The citizens have a responsibility to hold any government accountable. And part of that accountability, or the system for that accountability, is what they call the fourth estate in media. And whether or not you see us as part of the mainstream media, or not, we form part of the fourth estate. Critics of the government form part of the fourth estate. And they should be protected by any means necessary. Citizens, as we like to say, people's power, no dictators, citizens must take a stand in the society to hold the PPP, their friends, their cronies accountable. Ali must be impeached. He has breached the Constitution, and those constitutional breaches are continuing on a daily basis for every day that the Police Service Commission operates. Without a chairman from the Public Service Commission, the Police Service Commission is in breach of the Constitution, and that breach is aided and abetted by Irfan Ali. Paul Sloan's written about it. Selwyn Peters has written about it. I can't remember who else wrote about it. But I can tell you that Anil Nandlal had written about constitutional breach by the president and what the remedy is. And the remedy is impeachment. Because when Granger, I think in 2016, had the issue with the appointment of the GECOM chairman, and the courts ruled, Anil Nandlal said it was constitutional heresy, I think. And Granger should be impeached. What makes it different when Ali is the breacher of the Constitution? Serious breach of the Constitution. He should be impeached. And society must call, citizens must demand for him to be impeached. And if that is going to get me killed, so be it. If that is going to cause gunmen to turn up at my gate, or suspicious looking characters to turn up at my gate, under the guise of wanting to join the WPA, so be it. The WPA has an office, it's in Queenstown and Irish Street. You want to join the WPA, go to an Irish Street. Or WhatsApp me, don't come at my gate. As I'm going to suss you out. You know, I keep telling y'all, I am not afraid. But I like to add to that, I am not stupid. And obviously, if I think my observations are right in the Kieran Bruce issue with the vehicle, Kieran obviously is not stupid either. I don't know if the attackers have been identified or are caught on camera and so on in the incident with Bruce. But I can say that the evidence is out there, based on my observation, that they will use some of us. Some of us they will use. Or young men and women who we want to allow out there to accept $5,000 and a box of food with some free liquor, they're going to use them. They're going to use them. We have to be alert. We have to hold this cabal accountable. We have to stand on the side of right-thinking and free-minded Guyanese who are recognizing what is wrong in this society and calling it out. No more can we sit back and watch our citizens being slaughtered. And as I'm telling you about these unconstitutional behavior and the friends and cronies of the PPP friends, family, and favorites being protected in this society, let's drop a hint. A relative of a big one in government, was caught acting contrary to the law about 2 weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? A relative of a big one in government was caught acting contrary to the law about 2 weeks ago and did not spend 20 minutes in the lockup. Did not spend 20 minutes in the lockup. Because you know what? Y'all know who in this government, y'all know who running this country. That was the response of the relative of the big one. You're going to hear more about it. I'm sure you're going to hear more about it. But will you be surprised? I hope not. It is how the PPP runs government. Y'all remember Kellerman Lal? Where's Kellerman Lal? How many gun incidents he had? Never made a day appearance before the court. Y'all remember Ossie Rogers? That gun assault in Barbados and then he jumped on a flight and left the country? There are many others, I'm sure. There are many, many others. But we, the citizens, are the ones allowing it. Because in other countries, let me take for example, in the US recently, I think 3 black senators, or 3 senators representative of the Afro-American community, they were thrown out. Because on the floor of the Senate, they engaged in protest for gun control. They engaged in protest for gun control. They refused to follow whatever instructions of the speaker or whoever. They expelled them from the Senate. But they were standing up for the people. And once they were expelled, the people stood behind them. And are still standing behind them. In this society, your parliamentarians, as ineffective as you want to say they are, got expelled and not a Guyanese lifted a finger to stand with them. But we hear every day what they must do and what they must do and what they can do and what they don't do. What are the citizens of this country doing? TACUMA OGUNSEYE, a fighter from since they said Noah was a boy for democracy and good governance in this country, was arrested recently and placed in shackles like an old slave. How has the society reacted? Passively. I and the WPA are very thankful for those who have supported the TACUMA OGUNSEYE Defense Fund. That is about one aspect of activism to change a society. We want to see the others. Numbers upon numbers upon numbers of citizens must take to the streets of this country to demand fundamental changes that will improve their lives. You have the PPP rushing ahead with the local government elections that is fixed already. Citizens are doing nothing about it. You have for 3 years where the PPP has not offered public servants a dime in increasing wages and salaries to aid with this rising cost of living. Citizens are doing nothing about it. You have a public health care system that is falling apart. People are doing nothing about it. A law enforcement agency or agencies, the Guyana Police Force, and on a smaller note, perhaps the Guyana Defense Force. We know more about the Guyana Police Force than we know about the Guyana Defense Force. Corruption is running rampant. Citizens are not being protected and served, and nobody is doing nothing about it. But over in neighboring Suriname, they got Santoki and the run. Because they recognize them as dangerous to their democracy and accountability. And the citizens have taken to the streets. And international agencies have become involved. And his name is calling in cross-border crime. And they got thousands of documents where his name is mentioned in the commission of these crimes. But in Guyana, we got a man who Vice News has put information out there, alleges that he has been involved in corrupt practices, insider trading of government contracts, etc. A man who was scheming to sell a hotel that taxpayers' money built and saved from foreclosure to his friends and cronies, and Guyanese remain quiet about it. What's wrong with us? Where is our democracy? When will we stand and defend it? I just got disconnected again in case y'all want to know. Right? Just in case y'all asking, I got disconnected again. But I'm not going to restart now. Let's take the calls. Hey. See if it's streaming anything else. See if it's streaming anything else. What about YouTube or some music or something? Or let's share back or something? No, a smaller one. Is it? Yes! I await your calls. We're playing jumping jacks. Jumping jacks we playing. The number of disconnects I've gotten in the last minute or two. Let me see how many of them. Wow. On the last 5 minutes. 5, 4. Alright, so y'all don't want to have a conversation with me this morning. Y'all frightened, it's only me must bail its cat. There's a problem in this society. Everybody wants somebody to do it. And since somebody must do it, nobody will do it. I want to continue to encourage folks, listen, y'all ensure, migrate to YouTube, man. Y'all go over to YouTube a lot. All of you by now should have a YouTube account, man, to go over to YouTube or just sign in. How do you do it? I don't even know. Just go to YouTube and look for Kams TV in the mornings and view the live, Kams TV live. Right? Let's do that. No? Anyways, I was told that Slow also wrote about the constitutional matter, the breach of the Constitution, in yesterday's paper, some one of them. So if you can get that, let's read it too. Call it live.
Morning, neighbor, morning, bye, morning. Morning. Bye, look, it's piece of life here, my brother. In this country called Guyana, not easy, and you know you're on point with everything. That's why you see. Look, it's only the truth that's hurt people. And when the truth hurt people, they react in funny ways. So all them cutting off, you're getting cut off, your channel getting cut off, your program getting cut off, and all them kind of thing is because the truth reaching out. The truth reaching out to the people them. And in the ears of them, the guilty ones them, this is why you see the reacting so. And according to, I hear you state that you know, you're encouraging the people to, you know, to react to like the impeachment and all them thing, you know. And it's not easy with the kind of threats. You see the PPP and them cronies just be putting out to people in this little space, you know, we got in Guyana. And what Brother David HINDS is saying, encouraging us, and you to help encouraging us to do, is to continue to be civil disobedient. And it's working for them. It's working. Because you find this why you see the arrogance rising so much in the PPP. And another thing I hear Brother David say, you know, is let me move out the way. Let me try to move out the way. Because the falling, and let it fall peacefully and crash like a ripe tomato. You know? Let me just give them the piece away. That is what they want. Let me open the space and let the PPP fall and crash. They getting back just like how they been in the crime time in 2010 and them time. They're going back to there, and even worse they're getting. Even worse. We got to understand the makeup of Barry Jagdio, the makeup of Anil Nandalal. You know, and this way the brunt of the evil and the wickedness coming from. These men, they're very hollow. These men, hollow. These men ain't got nothing for cry for. Nobody for, you know, for look on and them kind of things. So these men ain't got no type of feelings. And you know, it's so sad to know that the international community them could look at these men to install these type of people for say that they for do business with these corrupt, but something coming, a great embarrassment coming for them. You know, we might not doing, and I agree with you, we might not doing our best in like protests and them kind of things, which is needed. But we don't know the heavens don't like ugly. And we wait and we going to see the back of the same government because of them see the same Barry Jagdio and the same Anil Nandalal. Just wait, just hold, my brother. You continue doing the good work, and it's exposing them every single day. They're not going to do nothing. It's exposing them every single day, my brother. But you continue doing the good work, and have a blessed day.
Thank you. All strain, they say. All strain. Let me tell you something. They got trouble in the camp. Barry Dataram is a guest of the state. Yes, Barry Dataram is a guest of the United States. And it has been reported in local news that he has been singing like a canary. Right? Or like we said, Towa Towa. He's singing. He's making plea deals. And we will see the fruits of those deals. Understand, Mr. Torm name calling long and steady. And the DA want you and so. And that's why you gotta stay close to government. But let them hold on to him, and I'm sure they will come crashing down like a house of cards. Because the US gets what the US wants. We might have a day of celebration. But I want to remind you that the US only intervenes for their own interest. We have to intervene. We have to take a stand for our interest. Good? This is our testing time. We going through with 40 days and 40 nights. Even Kams TV. The last 2 weeks is the most disconnection and most lasha I forget. But I keep coming back. I'm asking you to do the same. Tomorrow morning we'll be right back here with Guyanese Morning Time. Tonight, Dr. HINDS will be on Politics 101. But trust me, I'm back here tomorrow morning with Guyanese Morning Time. And we're going to talk about local government and who is involved and what the tricks are and what is happening. Because that was the intent for today. But with the disruptions and so on and the fact that people's homes have been shot up in this society and people's homes continue to get shot up in this society, I think it was pertinent that I address that. Guyanese must demand better. Guyanese must demand service and protection from the Guyana Police Force. And now you're going to know who protecting who. Because I'm sure there's supposed to be a lot of cameras around the city. Because they call it Safe City Solutions and Safe City and Safe this and Safe that. Cameras monitoring intersections and entrances and exits and so on. And so we're going to get to find out, what did those cameras see at the time when Kieran Bruce's home was shut up? What did they see? Or were those cameras off? Like when Paper Shots was shot up in front of Palm Court, a stone's throw away from the president's residence. Let's listen to hear what those cameras have seen. Them said Bush got ears. Right? Bush got ears. Somebody must have seen or heard something. If not through the official channels, we can bring it through the unofficial channels. You know my number, 6225933. Guyanese Morning Time. Hit me up. Send me the dirty dung details on them. That's what we're here for, to expose them. I'm not afraid, but I'm not stupid. Guyanese, do not be afraid, but don't act stupidly. We could put an end to this. Impeachment, Ali should be impeached. People keep telling us that you need 50% and more vote in the parliament. We don't need a parliament to impeach Ali for starters. The impeachment process must start on the streets of this country. Until citizens start calling on a daily basis for Ali to be impeached, the impeachment process ain't going no place. That's where we have to start. Citizens have to take a stand and believe in it. That is where the process starts. I encourage you. Join the fight, join the WPA, join the call. Ali has breached the Constitution. Those constitutional breaches continue on a daily basis, and for that he must be impeached. Right? She wears my ring. Y'all know the song? Let's play that this morning. She wears my ring to show the world that she belongs to me. So when she takes it off so that